I have no easy answers for you. You must, as a society, find a way to get to the underlying problems that begin very, very early on in an individual who would choose a life of violent crime. But this is not an answer that will come from without. This is an answer that comes from here within. You must each look at the possibilities in yourself of such emotion, such outbursts, such passion of a negative sort. Let us switch for a moment from this topic and go to whether or not you as individuals make a choice coming into this life and leaving it. What I can tell you is that you are souls who reincarnate again and again and again. And the determination of which family unit you enter into, which particular situation you enter into, you are born into, these are decisions that are made in a group before the incarnation takes place. You are there, your soul is there, the purity of who you are, your higher self, if you will, is there. And it is free will that allows you to determine these circumstances. Within your family unit, there are agreements that are made. Now, you will try to understand this from a linear point of view through your mind, and we can assure you that you will get nowhere with this. It is not to be understood on a linear level from a cerebral point of view. But you make these choices. Now, how your life will unfold once you incarnate is a matter of a intermingling of those of you who are in the family unit and the choices that you make along the way. There are, at the beginning, there are seeds of possibilities, if you will, energy fields, which suggest that over here are some of the challenges that if you choose this lifetime, you may be taking on. The purposes of that may be far beyond your own individual evolution and may be for the purpose of ensuring the metamorphosis, the transformation of those around you. And depending on the particular circumstances and the individual, him or herself, what could be the factor is that you take on a particular life set of circumstances in order to evolve a greater number of people. And in fact, in order to evolve consciousness on earth, if you will. There have been throughout your history those individuals who have created, through whatever circumstances, mass changes in consciousness. For example, Martin Luther King Jr. If he knew, as he was making the decision to enter into that particular lifetime, if he knew the possibility of the circumstances that he might be assassinated, you might wonder, well, why would anybody choose to take on such a circumstance? Why would anybody choose a life such as that? But those of you who know his works, know his words, understand a bit about his life, might well be able to comprehend that he would, in fact, take on something so difficult because he knew that through his death and the circumstances surrounding it, there would be monumental change. And in fact, there was. The same can be said for any number of your spiritual leaders whom you look upon for inspiration to help you live a life of greater purpose. If you look upon their lives, and we are thinking of the more contemporary ones, such as Mother Teresa and Mahatma Gandhi, if you look back on their lives, and theirs were lives of service, but the circumstances in their personal lives were not so easy. And yet this, I can tell you, these potentials were there from the beginning, because we are talking about highly evolved souls. Souls who have ascended, whose vibration is so pure and so focused on loving their fellow man and doing whatever it is that they can in order to better the planet, that their own personal circumstances become far, far less important. Now, as to choosing your own time of death, there are absolutely within you the possibilities for this. You are not simply held prisoner by sets of circumstances. This is a choice that you can make. And the levels upon which you do this, the reasons for which you do this, and we are thinking here of those who are very young in body and who leave the planet through disease of some sort, an accident of some sort, when they are still quite young. There is a higher purpose to this. This is an evolutionary shift for all of those who are in that person's field. Now, there was a discussion happening last night wherein one of Maria's friends was speaking of having miscarried a child. And the energy of that child, the vibration was already felt as feminine. That child did not come into the world. And yet, some time later, and not so long, again the woman was with child. And this time, that incarnation was exactly the same. The soul had a purpose for not coming in the first time around. And the mother is wise enough to understand, to know within her heart that that is the same vibration that successfully came through her. Now, what was different? That is a more complex question. There are so many reasons why, and these had to do with choices in that family unit.